is the place where real dialogue matters.
Make some noise for that sound, man.
It is time to take flight with Audio Airstrike.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Audio Airstrike. I'm Everett Hall-McNeill. Thank you for joining us. And here with me is a blast from the past. Well, not so much. He's been a reoccurring guest, recently retired from MMA, and we're going to sit down and talk with him about a new lease on what he's got going on. Ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Rude Boy Gbollie is here.
Hey, how everybody doing? Good to be back.
Absolutely, man. So, let's get into it, man. The last time I talked with you, you was in it to win it. You was still competing, and now you have made the decision to retire. So tell us more about that.
Oh yeah, man. It was a year earlier than I thought, which isn't too bad. My last fight, I got cut really bad, like a head cut. I elbowed in the head, so everybody in the family freaking out. Just like when you retire. So I was like, I can't go on a loss. So I was like, let me get one more, and I just cut it a year earlier than my intended goal. But my last couple of fights, even since last I seen you, 3 out of my last 8 fights, the guys that have made it to the UFC. So it's just like this close. So
do you have a sense of closure with where your career is going, or is there part of you that still was like, I wish I did something different to get to the pros?
I mean,
or the UFC, I should say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a sense of closure. Like, my goal was to do it from until my daughter was 7. So, I mean, I did it. I did what I wanted to, and never thought I would even make pro or. So, I mean, I've surpassed my initial goals, and that was it. So.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you this: who was your greatest opponent that you had the opportunity to face?
I would say Carl Robeson. He's in the UFC right now. I think that's the hardest I've ever been hit. Yeah, and that was my fourth. That was my fourth MMA fight as a pro. And since then, it's just like I've been on like. That's the hardest anybody has ever hit me, and since then, and I've had 15 since then, and so.
Oh, awesome. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this: what is the next steps? When you've retired, are you going to end up teaching in MMA? Are you going to pursue other opportunities outside of the MMA world? Where are you at with that? I know I'm asking a lot of hard questions because I know you ain't been too long ago since you retired. So I'm just wondering where your head is at right now.
I mean, I already had planned because for the past 3 years, I haven't really competed jiu-jitsu. So I got my purple belt, haven't competed, and then I recently got my brown belt. So I was like, my next goal was to try to be a world champion in jiu-jitsu and focus on that. And I still train MMA because there's guys that are on the team that are younger guys. So I'm just working with them, helping them get ready for fights. So, I know how it is when you need a body, and it's hard to find big dudes around, here to work with. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that you have retired and everything of that sort, what are some jewels that you can drop for somebody who's looking to start their MMA career? You being on the other side of it now, what are some jewels that you got for those people that are looking to get into the league?
Mainly it's a lifestyle. It's not like I'm gonna do it for a couple months, or I'm a eat good for a little bit or not drink, or it's a lifestyle, man. So it takes up a lot of your time, and if you don't have enough time dedicated to it, you're not going to be great. So I mean, I've been through a lot going through my whole career. I had a divorce. I've had my ex-wife had miscarriages.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Like, so many things have happened, and you have to kind of stay like easy kill because you're you're cutting weight. It makes you emotional. Like, I've had deaths in the family. Like, it's just a lot that goes through your mind when you're trying to get ready for all that stuff. So I would just tell them that, just be mindful of that. Like, it takes its toll on you mentally. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about somebody that you know real well, Pat. What's the update on him? How's he doing?
Oh, he's doing good. Patrick Rivera. He's in California. He flew back today. He's been out in Team Alpha Male, training with them, but like Uriah Favor, a lot of UFC guys are training out there. Sarah McMahon, she just won her fight. She trains with them too.
Oh, okay.
So
awesome.
she's a Team Alpha Male. So he's training out there for his second stand there, but he was there a couple months ago. So he's on a tear. So I say give him the next 4 fights. If he wins, like he will be getting signed. Like so like it's like that close. And he has I know he has 2 losses, and I think he's 3-0 right now on a 3-0 run or 2-0. So.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, definitely good luck to him, and definitely positive energy towards him and prayers towards him that, whatever he's going after, that it definitely comes to fruition. I wanted to ask you also about this in terms of Conor McGregor and stuff of that nature. And there were rumors about him retiring and stuff like that. He came back, had a good showing against Cowboy, very decisive. What is your thoughts on Conor McGregor and where he is headed? Because his approach was kind of different. He was kind of more quieter, a lot more, not as rowdy, way more humble and stuff of that nature. When you see this happening, what do you think is the causes? He is a business now. He is a brand. Yeah.
He's probably been reprimanded so many times from Dana, and like, when you realize that you can't fight no more, when you got suspended for all that time, it kind of like, you got to think like how you're making money. What are you going to do? Like, it's like it's over, because you're like, that's 2 years. That's a long time not to fight. That's a long time not to do anything, not to train, not to get ready for nothing. And then you're a competitor. You don't have nothing to do. Like so he had to change his whole life. Like, and then because he realized he lost it. So.
Yeah, I definitely saw the slice of humble pie, especially considering when you lose a couple fights. And I'm not throwing shade. I'm not sitting trying to be spicy, but it's just a reality situation. It is going to humble you quick, and you're going to, readjust and figure out a different game plan and also a different approach. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, you are only as big as your fan base and the business that supports you. And if you decide to get too carried away and worry about yourself and be selfish and all that other regard, it could cause problems. Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm saying all this is because Conor McGregor, his actions have made people feel all those things, which is why I think his approach was different. And that's me looking from the outside in. I don't have interior speculation with his camp. I don't have somebody who's inside giving me information. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my perspective from the outside looking in. Now, we know how good Conor McGregor's striking. We also know that you teach striking as well, so give us a little bit more information about your striking classes and where they could find that.
Okay.
Can you come close to the mic?
Yeah, sorry, here we go. My striking classes are at BJJ Conquest in Millersville, Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock for an hour. It's either me or Patrick Rivera. He is a glory kickboxer also, and a pro boxer, and an MMA fighter. So, and he is my main instructor for striking. So, we both teach a class on those nights. And also, you have Wednesday nights, which is Henry Smith, which is Cowboy Cerrone's old striking coach. So, we had a lot of insight from the Conor McGregor fight, because Cowboy Cerrone has worked with our striking coach, Henry Smith, also. So, southpaws are Cowboy Cerrone's, Achilles heel. So, he was like, if he don't study Conor, he's not gonna lose, because he always loses to southpaws. There until southpaw, some starched him. Another guy beat him also. Pettis, him he's southpaw.
Is Nick Diaz southpaw? You know for sure.
I'm not 100% sure if he is, but he has a weak body, so Nick went to the body when he fought him. That's
Gotcha.
But
Well,
yeah, man.
we definitely appreciate it, man. Elijah Rude Boy Gbollie, man, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate you coming to Audio Airstrike, and you are more than welcome to come back anytime. We appreciate it. Thank you.
What's up? All right, guys. Appreciate it, man. You guys.
Everyone was stunned in disbelief as they heard the news of a helicopter crash that left 8 people dead, including the one and only Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. Fans across the world are mourning the beloved NBA superstar. Thousands of thank you letters have flooded the media on multiple platforms as people express a variety of emotions in a moment of despair that no one could have predicted. Gentlemen, Mamba for life. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. I just want to kind of gather your thoughts there. This has literally been the biggest news story of the entire year, and sadly, it has ended in tragedy. I want to get your guys' thoughts. What were your initial thoughts when you heard the news? How are you guys feeling? I'm here with Adam Keese, good classmate of mine, good friend of mine, and I'm also here with, you can introduce yourself.
Larry Randall, Glen Burnie, Maryland. Nice
for you to join us. It's been a long time coming, and I'm happy you guys are here, but I'm sorry it's ending on this. Not that it's ending on this note, but I am kind of wish we talked about a happier topic. What were your guys' thoughts on Kobe Bryant?
As far as the actual tragedy itself, I was just in complete shock, and I think shock might be an understatement. I got the news kind of in the middle of a nap. Everybody knows I'm the resident Laker Kobe Bryant fan, at least in my area and to most of my friend group. And so my phone just started pinging and pinging and pinging. And I just started getting immediately agitated. Like, man, I can't catch a nap on a Sunday afternoon. It's like you're thinking that somebody's just bothering you. And then you open your phone and you see the news, and then it's like the earth stood still. I didn't even move. It was just like I just looked at the wall for 10, 15 minutes.
Did you believe it right away?
No, absolutely not. When I saw it came from TMZ, it was like, TMZ, they're at it again. Like, why people fall for this? And it kind of made it like less disheartening when I saw where it came from. So I got up, started doing my thing. And then I couldn't let it go. So I went and started looking through my phone. All right, let's see. CNN got it. SNBC has it. All these other.
Oh, so you got it when the reputable places were getting it.
I got it initially from TMZ.
Right.
Okay. And then I went about my day. And then I was like, well, let me just see. One of those curious things. Then I started seeing it pop up. And the worst part is it was just fake stories. So it was Kobe and Rick Fox were on a plane. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, they took Rick Fox too? And then it was Kobe and his whole family were on the plane. And then it was Kobe and whomever else. They just basically just put people on the plane with them. And but one common factor was it was Kobe. And so that part was disheartening because obviously I'm a lifelong Kobe fan. I came up during the Shaq and Kobe era, and that was a lot of my childhood. I'm not exactly sure of you guys' age, but that's my entire childhood is Kobe, Shaq, going into high school. I was around for that. Yeah, just Kobe, and then, the Kobe Powell era, of course. So it was definitely shocking.
I had this weird progression into Lakers fandom was growing up as a little kid, we had Michael, of course, and that was it. It was the end of the school year when I was in elementary school. I could always stay up a little later and watch. And once Michael left, I didn't really have much of a team, but Shaq was always that guy. He was on Nickelodeon. He was on everything. And then Phil Jackson goes from Chicago to LA. They get this young guy, Kobe, and I was like, all right, well, these all are people that I'll start to like. And all through middle school and then into high school, I was pretty solid Lakers fan. And when I got it, I was scrolling through Twitter. I'll check Twitter every now and then, and that pops up, the TMZ report early, and I didn't have anything else. I was just searching around. People were the initial reaction of, oh my God, all this stuff. And, you know, we've been to this dance before. It happens. And celebrities have been prematurely killed only to be find out they were fine. And I was like holding on to that and kept checking ESPN, kept checking MSNBC, kept checking the reputable places. And it wasn't coming across, and there were like murmurs and things. And I was going to the movies. I was going to see, we'll get there eventually, but I was going to see 1917. And there's like a store in the mall that sells sports memorabilia right by the movie theater where they used to have the tickets.
Right.
And I walked in there and they had their TVs on like CNN and they were covering it. I was like, this is probably it. This is probably real. And still in disbelief.
It is very disheartening. I got the news from a group chat with my cousins, and they're basically saying, "Did you hear about Kobe?" I told them no, and they told me the news, and I was instantly didn't want to go anywhere. Instantly saddened by the news, especially the fact that him and his daughter were on that plane, that helicopter, I should say, and it's very, very unfortunate because there was so much that he wanted to do past the point of basketball. You're talking about somebody who we know he's one of the most decorated athletes ever. We know his killer instinct is the closest to Jordan we've ever seen. I understand that. But outside of that, he was able to not only morph into that, but he was also to morph into a better husband. He was able to morph into a better role model. He was able to morph into so many different facets past basketball. He was able to compartmentalize his mind to be like, all right, basketball's done, I'm moving on. And for him to sit over there and be like, okay, I want to tackle this, I want to tackle this, I want to tell stories, I want to do these avenues and things to help people out. Just his humanitarianism, that doesn't get a lot of spotlight on it. But the different efforts that he was able to do and the number of people that he was able to impact is just something very, very special. There's been talk from several players about, memories of him and different stuff of that nature. It feels weird saying rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, because you look at him and you go, guy's in phenomenal shape, and he's in phenomenal shape, was in phenomenal shape for somebody who's 40 years old. Cardio probably through the roof. You've been ripping and running for like up and down the court for doggone near 20 years. Your cardio is going to be excellent over many people. And for this to happen, unfortunately, and for so many people to see him loving life and this and that is very sad, is very unfortunate. And I will say this doesn't feel like a typical celebrity death. This feels like a family member passed away. And this is something that we're not too keen on when it comes to Kobe and whatever. One thing that he's able to accomplish is touching people's heart. Now, you being a fan, I know this hit you probably more so than any of the three of us here, any of the two of us here. So what were your initial thoughts at, one, the outpouring of love and support, but also I want to get your thoughts first on that, the love and outpouring and support, and people comparing tragedies, mainly, hate to say this, some people in the veteran community comparing the tragedies of those soldiers with Kobe, and how you felt about that.
Well, first, I do want to say, rest in peace and thank you to all the veterans who do serve. I think it's one of those things where people have to always point out that their house is burning down just because, you say your house is burning down. Two things can be true. You don't have to always compare and contrast. Well, my house is burning faster than yours, or, it's one of those things. But in terms of what I think about the tragedy and what I think about Kobe and the love he's gotten, I think it's about damn time. I think ESPN has used Kobe as the catalyst of is this guy a good player? Is this guy a good player? They've only basically used him in a pretty disparaging way, in my opinion. And now it's finally like, all right, we can give him his respect, and we can start, recognizing the greatness that he had on the court. And not to say that they didn't think he was a great player, but to always constantly compare guys who haven't done as much or who are on their way to doing great things in their own right, just to put them up and get ratings. Because we all know the business. You say Kobe, the ratings go through the roof. You say Jordan, names go through the roof. So those guys are always constantly on the tip of everybody's tongues. As a fan, there's three types of people who are probably affected by this. There's the family, there's friends, and then there's the fans. I can only speak for the fan group, and this is one of the hardest deaths that I've seen, period. I was a big Kobe fan from probably the age of 8, 9. So you're talking about a lifelong, almost like a big brother, or almost like a slightly young uncle or something like that. So he's almost like family, and you watch him, and he grew from the young guy who was playing against all the old guys to being the main guy in the NBA to being the old guy. So you saw him through his whole life, and you felt like you grew with him. And as you grew and hit a certain stride, he was growing and hitting a certain stride. So it's almost like the parallels in your own life. You can see him in his. So it was hard, to say the least.
It's hard for the fans. It's hard for the friends. It's hard for the family members that have to immortalize and put to rest Kobe Bryant. So first off, we just want to give a shout out to everybody who's dealing with this tragic loss. Rest in peace, Mamba. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. I definitely want to keep his wife, Vanessa, in prayer. That is not an easy thing to do, to deal with. There's a lot of, all I can say is prayers to that whole family. This is a very hard time for them. He will definitely be in the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame, for sure. The logo might be debatable, but he will be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
They said, so this is his first year of eligibility. He'd have gotten in.
Right.
But they're saying they're not even going to vote. It was automatic.
They're just going to make it automatic.
Can we touch on that logo thing for a second?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I really don't think they should change the logo. And this is coming from a Kobe fan, lifelong. I think the NBA is the only league that has a person as the logo, and that person's still living.
Gotcha.
Right? And not to go from Jerry West to Kobe, you skip a lot of people in the middle. And I think it's a sign of respect to one, but it's a sign of disrespect to a lot in the middle, to me.
We all know it's Jerry West.
Yeah.
But the NBA refuses to admit that it's Jerry West. They'll say it's nobody.
Oh.
You're right about that.
I did not know that.
You can look up the image. It's 100% Jerry West, but the NBA has always denied that it's Jerry West on the logo. Or they won't say who it is, at the very least.
Either way, I look at it like this. Regardless of what's been going on, I think Kobe is going to be celebrated regardless if he's the logo or in the Hall of Fame. But somebody who may or may not be in the Hall of Fame is Eli Manning. Switching it to football now. This is Eli Manning's resume. He is a 2-time Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP, 4 Pro Bowl selections, 57,023 passing yards, 7th in history. He is the 2016 Walter Payton Man of the Year, and he has a even 117 win-loss record.
No way.
That's tied. That is weird.
I did not know that. That's funny. Is there any way better to sum up Eli Manning? You were even with everything. You even wins, even losses. You got your 2 Super Bowls. You're not you're always going to play second fiddle to your brother. Yeah, that's funny.
See, here's the thing about Eli that I've noticed. Eli is one of the type of people that you there's people that are really rooting for him. I remember people were saying, well, you can't spell elite without saying Eli. Like just crazy. Like these like just crazy stuff. And then we'd be on a downslope. They'd be the first people wanting to cancel him. Oh, trade him, get rid of this person. Oh, get this person. Hey, get Garoppolo. He's pretty good. Back when that was a whole tiff. But do I think he should be in the Hall of Fame? It's going to take some years, bruh. When you think about who is eligible every year that's been waiting, it's going to take at least at least a good maybe 10 years for he's in. And I know some people may say 10 or 15. I'm not sure. But, I mean, to see the different names that are in that get over that, I should say will get passed up every year, and then you're going to put Eli Manning over them? I don't see how that's happening.
Well, I look at it like this. It's one of those things where if Kurt Warner made it, who had a similar career but only has one Super Bowl, Eli's going.
I see the shade over there.
With the two Super Bowls and then you beat Tom Brady in both of those Super Bowls, that kind of gives you an extra little boost or bump. And when you have a last name Manning, you're going to go. Right. It's just one of those things. Now, like to your point, I do think he's going to wait. He is not first ballot, second, third, fourth, or fifth, but he will definitely be waiting. But whether or not he's going, I think it's a definite.
Interesting.
I guess he will. Same thing. It'll probably be a waiting game. But his Super Bowls, the one fluke, the Tyree saving him, and everybody that looks at that play, you look back, it's like, there's holding there. But he got it. He got the second one as well. But did he ever do anything apart from that really wowed you? Like, can you point to a season where you said Eli was dominant? Was he ever dominant? He was serviceable on a team where there's a lot of other stuff around him. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bitter Redskins fan.
Well, to that point, I think with Eli, when you're in a league with Peyton and Tom Brady, and even a guy we're going to speak on later, Phillip Rivers, and some of the other guys who had great seasons, you got to kind of almost separate and say, how do you look at his season just by itself? And when you get to the pinnacle of the Super Bowl and you take it, I think that kind of supersedes maybe the regular season mediocrity, because I put a lot into winning, and I think, and especially where he played at New York, they put a lot into winning. So I think that's kind of to his credit. But regular season, 117, and that's where you're at with it.
So let me ask you this: if his win-loss record was a lot more stellar, would you be even saying that he's just a piece?
Probably marquee wins. You got the 2 in the Super Bowl. I'll give you that. But there's times in Brett Favre's career and Peyton Manning's career and Tom Brady's career where in regular season games they wowed you. There was something that you said, "Wow, that was a game," and they took it by the horns and they won it themselves. I just never got that from Eli. If his win-loss record was better, yeah.
So let me ask you another question. Did you ever get it from Phillip Rivers?
Not really. No. Is their story always going to be written together? Eli and Phillip. I mean, I remember
Phillip ain't got no rings though. Look at this quote. I gave it all I had. Bama, you ain't bring not one Super Bowl ring to San Diego. You gave it all you had. Not
San
even
Diego
an
and
AFC
LA
championship.
Not a playoff
Not
win.
even that. You gave it all you had, huh? Oh, that's all.
And you think, and even in like the AFC West, how did you not win that? How did you not come out of that and then plow your way through?
Damian Thomas.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's what I will say. I'm gonna play devil's advocate slightly. Phillip Rivers probably is the Chargers' greatest quarterback ever. And sometimes the cachet that gives you as being the best quarterback in a franchise history, it may not automatically put you in the Hall of Fame, but some voters will give that cachet. Like, can we think of a better vaults quarterback? Now maybe that's just an indictment on the Chargers.
Yeah.
But can you? I mean,
He'll go into the Ring of Honor at Los Angeles of San Diego of the Chargers Stadium.
Look, my opinion is this, right? I'm not hating on Phillip Rivers. You want to have a bunch of I'm not trying to be so disrespectful, but when you got more kids than championships, I can't hang the hat on if you're going to have a Hall of Fame type of like. Is he going to sit over here and be like Dan Marino? No.
I mean, we got to preface this. He hasn't retired. He is leaving San Diego.
I gave it all I had. How many seasons he been there?
Same as Eli.
Whatever Eli, yeah.
20.
He ain't got that many left.
2004. Yeah. So he's going back to Florida, supposedly. Miami gives him some money. Tampa Bay, any of those Miami teams, any of those Florida teams.
Hold on. All right. So basically, here's how I look at it. I gave it all I had. When you got more kids than rings, it's an issue.
You're looking for the Brady ratio. With that, I mean, kids to rings.
More rings than kids.
That's rough. Not many people are going to find that.
Look, I know I'm probably going to get canceled by every single Chargers fan there is.
There's not a lot of them.
There are only the two of them.
Well, L.A., I should say now.
You know who it is? You know who Chargers fans are? Because when they were in San Diego, it's all them Navy people. All the Navy people that are transient through San Diego, they put on a Bolt hat and they're in.
Right.
You'll see them everywhere. That's because they travel like that.
Also, somebody who may be traveling out. We don't know. He may be traveling to another team or retirement. I'm waiting until the football season is totally done. This is Drew Brees quoting about any pending thoughts on retirement. So we got Drew Brees. Brady, nobody knows where he's going. So based on some of these quarterbacks that we are noticing that are kind of having their swan song, is this the end of an era?
Oh yeah.
Is this a changing of the guard?
Even if, say, 3 of these guys don't retire and they just move somewhere else, yeah, it's a big end of the era. I don't know. I don't think any of them. Phillip Rivers could play somewhere else. I don't think Tom Brady could play somewhere else. New Orleans, that's what Breeze did for the city. I don't know if he could do that, play for somewhere else after everything that he came to when the city was in dire need of support.
And let's be for real. He should have went to 2 Super Bowls. The refs weren't screwing him over, but that's beside the point.
See, what I think all 3 of those guys, what they have in common is each one of them might be still trying to prove a legacy. And what I mean by that is, because I know Tom Brady already has 6 Super Bowls. Tom Brady might want to prove I can do it without Belichick, right? And Drew Brees might want to prove, if I get on a good team, I can win another Super Bowl. I only have 1. And then Phil Rivers, he might also feel the same, even though he doesn't have a Super Bowl. So let me go see if there's a team who's just a quarterback away. So it is definitely a changing of the guard per se with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes going to the next level. But those guys still have something to prove, in their own right.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think that it is good to see a change of the guard. It's going to be interesting to see where Tom Brady goes. It's going to be interesting to see where Drew Brees goes. It's going to be interesting to see where all these other quarterbacks go. And because trust me, there is nothing I would like more than to see Tom Brady light up the Patriots defense on a separate other team. That's just me.
So where are you on Brady's theatrics of the social media, the this, to that, the photos are whatever you want to make of them, but everything, he knows what he's saying. He's from the second he threw that interception and had to start talking after the game, he's been aware of everything that he says.
It's the end of an era. It's the gunslingers riding off into the sunset in terms of being in New England, and who knows where he's going to end up. Who knows what town he's going to be coming through. There have been rumors that because a family member is sick, he may be going looking at a West Coast team. Who knows? That's what I've heard. I can't deny or confirm because I don't have all the resources to me. But the reality of the situation is that you have given New England or been a part of a team that has delivered 6 championships. And the league is changing. The defensive schemes are changing. The offensive schemes are changing. The AFC is becoming more competitive. And so now it's adjustment time. The Titans gave you checkmate last season. So we got to sit over here and Tom Brady's looking at the situation. And I said, okay, is this scheme working still? Even though that they got their 6th championship a year before, every season is different. Every season is different. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. And speaking of football, we have the big game coming up. And that is the Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers. Gentlemen, I want your predictions. The Chiefs or 49ers? Who's taking it and why? I'll start off with you.
Kansas City probably is. I don't know what to expect after last year. I don't know if anything can be more boring than last year, but I've got a gut feeling this is going to put a run for its money. I'm just in it for
boring.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling. I think I don't know. I think that. I think Andy Reid's going to Andy Reid. I think the San Francisco defense is going to show up. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan's going to do. I think Kansas City's going to win, but I don't think it's going to be exciting. I think we're going to have, after a long layoff, where we expect Kansas City to go out and score 50. I don't think we will. I don't think the offense is going to be there. And I'll love to eat my words come tomorrow at, what time is it right now? Tomorrow, like an hour from now. But I'm not overly excited for these two guys.
All right, so I'm kind of surprised that you said this is going to be boring. So you have a Kansas City Chiefs defense that's got Sammy Watkins, that's got Tyreek Hill, that's got they got all these offensive weapons. Then you look on the other side. Then you got Jimmy G, and then his offensive weapons, and then all of those schemes that are clashing each other.
Eight passes, Jimmy G. That was.
And then you have defenses. You don't know what they're going to do. You know what Suggs and that defense is going to do, and you don't know what Richard Sherman and the other defense is going to do. This is about as unpredictable as it's going to get.
You think so?
It's going to be way more exciting than last year. You want to know why? Because neither team wants to choke in the freaking Super Bowl, unlike the Rams from last year.
Well, the Rams from last year, they were like... They ran the same play the whole game.
No.
You know, little McVay is a prodigy all year until somebody throws a zone defense at him. Like,
here's the problem. The issue is that when I look back on last year's Super Bowl, they let Tom Brady get away with short passes that killed him. Mm-hmm. We're looking at this year's Super Bowl now, and I'm looking at a Chiefs team that's hungry, that has been to the AFC Championship game and winning. And then I look at the 49ers that haven't been there in a while. And if Jimmy G wins one, he's now the franchise star quarterback for the 49ers. There's a lot riding on this. There's a lot on the line. I don't think it's going to be boring. Brother, you must have to be jumping out of a plane if you think this thing is going to be boring. What are your thoughts on predictions?
I have the 49ers doing it. I follow the Broncos, as weird as that is, combo Lakers Broncos. And Emmanuel Sanders used to play for us. Now, one thing I do know is Emmanuel Sanders shows up in big games. Now, Jimmy G didn't throw but 8 passes last week, but he will definitely be throwing 8 to Emmanuel Sanders.
At least 15.
Yeah, he'll definitely get 15.
At least 15.
And I believe in, even though it's Kyle Shanahan's team, I believe in Mike Shanahan, a former Bronco coach, and his offense that he gave to his son. You didn't hear that from me. And, I think
talk about it. Don't hold back.
Don't hold back. I feel like if Mike Shanahan was 10 years younger, he would love the NFL now. You know, defense can't touch anybody. He'd have 3,000 yard backs in today's NFL. But I do think the 49ers will take it. I think Richard Sherman is a great leader on the defensive side. I feel like he will bring them to the level of Super Bowl that he had back with the Seahawks. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes is a young guy. I'd like to think that he wouldn't choke, but we don't know.
Two things we got to be, like both teams, whichever one wins, Kansas City, every all-you-can-eat buffet needs to be protected in Kansas City. Every guy's girlfriend in San Francisco needs to be protected when Jimmy G is coming after them.
He's trying to make Jimmy G sound like he a thought out here, like he just slinging. He's just saying D around all over San Fran.
Just say, hey, baby, that's all he needs.
You got the porn stars running wild in Sunset Valley. You know,
it takes money to live in San Francisco, and he's got it, and he's.
All right, so I want to get y'all's final thoughts on what do you think is what to expect, what to watch out for in terms of the Oscars. I think 1917 is cleaning up. I think it will get Best Picture. I think it will get Best Director. I think it will get Best Cinematography. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
I think it will get Best Picture. I don't know about Best Director. It should get Best Cinematography. I look for video editing. You know, the video editing, I think it's going to be interesting to see that and The Irishman together, because The Irishman does a different dynamic. But I'll say this. I think it wins the Best Picture because all the other Best Pictures are kind of in this make-believe world. That maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. Whereas 1917, even though it's make-believe world, this shit really happened. This is where it is. And I think that kind of pushes it over the other two.
Yeah. Adam, what are your thoughts? Predictions?
1917 for Best Picture. I'll go Sam Mendes for Director. I can go... cinematography for sure is 1917. If there's one shoe-in, that's it.
Right.
I'm just looking at the screenplays now.
You think it beats the woman films though?
The woman films.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say this. I don't even hear them talked about as on the same level as the other ones.
But that's the thing, right?
Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm gonna be straight up honest. Nobody's talking about the women. The women lead dominated films that are under consideration. Nobody's really giving that a look.
Well, nobody's giving a lot of films that were, from what I'm reading about, I haven't seen all of the films that came out all year, but
here's one that I haven't seen that I want to know if you all have, and I'm really intrigued. Did you see Jojo Rabbit?
I have not seen it. I definitely gotta pull in to see that.
That is one that I have not read any article written about, any review, but based on a trailer, a little bit of a synopsis, I know for a fact I'll like it. I know that I'll enjoy it, and I wish I had seen it before now. But just looking at screenplays, the one that's left out that was my personal favorite movie this past year was Knives Out. I saw it twice. I really enjoyed it. Did you all see that?
No, I haven't had a chance to see it. I got to peep. I was busy Thanksgiving, so I ain't really had a chance to stop in and see it. But I do want to also add this little tidbit for prediction before I close. I think Joaquin Phoenix is walking away with Best Actor for Joker.
Hands down.
I think he's going to walk away with that. But that's just my 2 cents.
What about you want to do the other ones?
Supporting actor.
We'll do supporting.
Supporting actor for sure. Brad Pitt.
Tom Hanks.
I wonder if they do that.
Is Pesci in there?
Pesci's in there.
Pesci's in there. Who do you
I'd
think
give
deserves it?
I think Pesci needs to take it.
You think
Why?
Pesci deserves it?
In The Irishman, if you look at it, he is kind of like the guider. He's kind of the protector. He's kind of guiding the storyline along. He kind of is almost look this omniscient. I'm at a distance, but I'm always keep my ear to the ground. Powerful. And you don't really see him ever get dirty. You don't really see him ever, and the subtlety is off the page. So when you think about that, here's this guy that has not moved from his seat unless he's going to another bar type of restaurant, but he gives off this aura like, don't get it twisted. I know what's going to happen. I know what schemes are going on and stuff of that nature, and I know who to talk to get you out of it or who I got to talk to take you out.
So you think he beats Al Pacino?
I think he beats Pacino and shocks everybody.
You think he beats Brad Pitt too?
I think he
Brad
beat.
Pitt got a bad thing because Brad Pitt got the Golden Globe, so I don't think he's gonna get the Golden Globe and the Oscar.
He got the SAG.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, but
I think Pesci's taking it all for supporting.
for the second time, he's gonna beat Brad for Al Pacino,
I think he's gonna take it.
unless they're on some.
I think history's gonna repeat itself. I think he's gonna take it again.
Because see, the thing about it is, here's the thing. In my opinion,
Don't get me wrong, Al Pacino was good, but I mean,
here's
yeah.
the thing. This is where the Oscars screw me up, and this is why I always say it's good to be nominated, but it might not. You don't necessarily need to win to be. If you're nominated, I think it's enough, because Al Pacino, as a supporting actor, over the past 20 years, has done some really good work. All right, and whereas, but so has Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci's been MIA for
Past
10, 20 years.
No, 14. I think it was like somewhere between 04 and 06 when he did the spy movie with Robert De Niro, but it was
He was only in there for a half second.
yeah,
Right.
He shows up. I mean, I think Pesci deserves it, but
It's going to
I
be
don't
Brad
know.
Pitt.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Pesci might take it, dude. I don't see
Hanks
that.
might take it.
That'd be the dark horse.
You know,
Yeah, that'd be the shocker.
Like that would be the thing. Like you expect it to be Pesci or Pacino, but then Tom Hanks pulls it out with Mr. Rogers, and I don't know. I just feel like Mr. Rogers is more an Oscar type of movie.
Did any of you all see that?
No, I haven't.
Well, so what was it like?
It was all right. I mean, I don't like Mr. Rogers that much. I just saw it to freaking watch it.
So-
you know, I mean, I thought the thing about it is Tom Hanks is a charming actor.
Was he the supporting actor?
Yeah.
It was more about the other guy? Okay. Because I thought it's the Mr. Rogers movie.
Yeah.
All right. But
it's weird the way they kind of put it together and everything. You know, they put it together. You know, it's kind of like that with The Irishman in my way, because even though Robert De Niro is the main guy, what is he without Joe Pesci and Al Pacino right there?
he's the vehicle.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
The movie goes through. That you're introduced to all these people along the way because of De Niro.
It should be interesting. There's a lot of talented acts, a lot of talented people, and a lot of creative artists that are going to be under one house and to decide who really is the best of the best, politics or not. Well, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. Adam, I want to thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Glad to be
Brandon,
here.
I want to thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Until next time, everybody. See ya.